All right, now I should be recording. All right, thanks for your patience, guys. So here we go. Back to basics. Training, week 2. We are ready. Amanda rocked us out with week 1. She had a lot of good takeaways, so I'm going to help you guys to kind of manage some of those daily tasks that we were throwing at you, and some of the income-producing activities that are going to help you to accomplish some of the goals that we are setting out to achieve. So I am going to remind you of a few things that Amanda brought up to you last week. So as a self-assessment, and not needing you to write this, this is just for you to ask yourself, how did you do with your homework for the week? So she gave you a 10-10-10-1 rule. So remember what those stood for. 10 was going to be that you were going to message 10 people to take a look. So this opportunity doesn't work if you don't reach out and ask people to actually take a look. Did you ask 10 people to do that? The next 10 was to grow your network. Did you get 10 new people on your list that we talked about last time? Did you reach out to 10 new people or add 10 new people to your list? And then the third 10 was following up with 10. So 10 people that you've asked in the past, or even that you just asked last week, a couple days later, they didn't respond. Did you actually follow up with them and ask them, again, to take a look, or if they were ready to get started? And then the last one in that formula was just to love on somebody. So did you accomplish everything that you set out to do? Did you guys accomplish your 10-10-10-1? So we're trying to get you to make the mind shift, because Amanda talked last week about the difference between posers and amateurs and professionals. So professionals are going to hold to what they say they're going to do. They're going to treat this like a business. They're going to shift that mindset, and they're going to start treating this like a business. But if you don't follow through with those numbers and reach out to people and ask them to take a look, then you're falling under that poser and amateur category. So a few of the things that we had talked about, Amanda wanted you guys to come last week with your 30-second story and your why. So if that's something that you haven't worked on yet, we absolutely want you to revisit that. It's really important to have your story. You're going to share this with multiple people. If you're serious about turning this into an opportunity in a business, you need to have your 30-second story. And you need to know why you're doing this, because we're not going to lie, guys. This is going to get hard. Absolutely. It's going to be the best thing you've ever done. It's going to be so well worth it, but it is going to be hard. And in those moments, those wall-kicking moments, you need to know why you're here, and you need to know what you're doing. Why are you going through this? So remind yourself to have that working list. Again, I'm talking about the poser versus amateur versus professional. If you're a professional and you truly treat this as a business, then you have a working list. So that doesn't mean that you've just jotted down a few names on a napkin. That means that you've gone to your social media, you've gone to Facebook like we talked about last week, and you have downloaded your list. So what kind of list is going to work for you? If you're more of a paper and pencil type of person, okay, then you're going to have hundreds of names written down, and you're continually going to be working that list, but you've got to decide what works for you. Everybody runs this a little different, but you've got to have that working list of people that you're continually reaching out to and following up with. As far as the materials we talked about last week, these are 4 things that Amanda told you that she wanted you to have. Oops. So the Map to Crystal Executive, and these are all on Isagenix Business, guys. The IsaLife Success Plan, the Leader in Action Formula, which Melina addressed last week, and then, of course, the Weekly Action Plan, which is what I'm going to talk specifically about today, which is going to help to keep you organized and give you a better idea of the daily things that you should be doing to be successful. So those are 4 things that I'm hoping you already have printed out. If not, or if this doesn't sound familiar, you can always go back and watch the training from week 1. So I told you guys I was going to help you to keep yourself organized and accountable. The reason that we do this, and I'm sure we can all relate to this, a confused mind does nothing. And that is so true. If you're just like thinking that this business seems overwhelming, then you're probably not going to give it an honest try. And again, we fall into that poser category. You guys have to have a plan of action. You have to know what target you're trying to hit, and that's what I want to give you, is like a solid plan to walk away with today for things that you should be doing each and every day to be successful. So I do want to remind you of the Leader in Action Formula. Melina went over this a little bit last week, so I'm not going to go into this too much in depth, but what I do want to address is the 4 categories that you need to be aware of in order to create a successful business center. So these are the 4 things you're really focusing on: your personal cycle growth, every week, whether those are increasing or decreasing, your number of personal enrollments, how many are you enrolling? Because really, the successful people in this business tend to shoot for 5 every month. So keep that in mind as you're tracking that. You've got your personally enrolled rank advancements. Are you helping people to become consultants, managers, etc.? And then that last category would be your number of weeks active at current rank. So they do this a little different during promotions, but when you're truly trying to build a business and you're trying to be the leader in action and you're running with this formula, then they expect you, if I scroll up, to count the number of months or weeks you've been active at executive. So that's important that we actually reach executive to be a participant in this leader in action. So to be an executive, I want to remind you guys, is to have 10 people who have each shared with 2 people. We need 5 on the left and 5 on the right. This is what we're trying to accomplish to get to executive. And then the next logical question would be, but how do I get to executive? Because that doesn't just happen overnight. You've got to have some strategies for how you're actually connecting with people and following up with them and sharing the opportunity to be able to reach that executive status. So Leader in Action gives you a big picture of where we're trying to go with your business and the categories that are really important to producing income. But that weekly action plan scoreboard is how you're going to get to executive. So let me pull this up, and hopefully everybody has this in front of them. I printed out a bunch of copies at school before I left for the summertime. Whoop, whoop. So I did this in color copy. In fact, I'm going to just probably actually put like a sealant or like a little clear cover over this, and then I can mark on it and I can erase it for the next week. But what I want to talk about with you guys, because again, this can be a little overwhelming, especially for somebody who's new. We know that these are basics. So looking at these activities, I want to talk more a little bit about each one of them, and then I can stop and I can ask if you guys have questions. Let's see. So I'm just going to kind of go through that list. I'm hoping you have that in front of you, but even if you don't, this is still going to make sense because I've got the different categories listed. So I'm going to go through this with you. And like I said, these are the first 2 categories that show up on this weekly action plan. So this is going to help you guys to keep organized. It might seem overwhelming at first, but to go through this, once you're very familiar with all these categories, this is going to make your life so much easier. Here's what I really like at the top, that pro tip where it says, select 4 categories a day for 15-minute power hours. So I'm pretty sure that most of us can give up an hour a day if you're serious about building this business. And this is an awesome way to organize yourself and to keep yourself on track. So if you don't have to go through every one of these categories every day. Okay, go through 4 of them every day for your power hour, and just be at peace with the things that you're starting with and the things that you're good at and the things that you need to work on. So the first 2 things on the list, they almost bleed into each other, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference there. So prospecting and developing your list. Again, ask yourself what list works for you. Is that like a running list where you're continually writing down names and adding people and adding their phone numbers as you're meeting them out and about? Is this the list that you've downloaded from Facebook and you've downloaded it to like Google Drive or something where you're continually adding to that? How are you keeping track of your people? So this is where you want to continually develop that list. Now, the poser and the amateur, guys, is going to be afraid of running out of people. However, the professional is never afraid of that because they are always adding new people to their list. That's what that developing the list looks like. You're continually adding new people to it. Therefore, you're never going to run out of people to ask to take a look. So we are asking you to continually build relationships with people that are going to be genuinely interested in this. Some people do the cold calls with cold prospects. I haven't found that to be that successful, but everybody does this differently. So the people who are liking your posts, that's more of a warm market. Okay, that's developing your list. The people who like what you're posting are people you're going to want to reach out to. Those people are prospects. Okay, people that are posting for what I call help. If you see that even if it's a joke, and they're posting about like, oh, it's so funny that they're always overeating and they can't lose weight. Those are cries for help. They're doing it in a funny way, but like those are people I would reach out to and say, hey, are you serious about this? So there are a lot of ways to build that network and develop that list. You can always join groups to grow your network, but do this as a genuine interest to you. Like if you're joining a group of something that you guys don't care about, then it's going to show. So I have a lot of groups of schnauzers. I love my schnauzer dogs. So I'm in a lot of those groups, but you can build relationships that way. So you're always building new people into this network, growing that network online and in person. And then don't forget, when you are prospecting, you have to be asking people to take a look. If you're not asking people to take a look, guys, you don't have a business. So you can make friends with people and grow this list all day, but if you're not asking them to take a look, you're not going to go anywhere with this. So that's an important piece of that. And then connecting, I do want you, don't feel like every conversation you have has to be about Isagenix. So remove the expectations here. Comment on people's posts, connect with them about, and truly be interested in their lives and what their goals are, like genuinely interested in them. Because if you're only interested in them for Isagenix, they're going to feel that. They're going to feel like they're being hunted, okay? And then they're going to run away. So you really got to be careful to genuinely care about people and reach out to them in a way that it's not just about Isagenix. Birthday messages are an awesome way to do that. Melina, one of our fearless leaders, has suggested recently that she's going to start reaching out with birthday messages and kind of more of a conversation starter as a way to keep talking to them for maybe a few days. And she actually is going to put them on her follow-up list. And a week later, I love this idea. I've started doing this too. A week later, then those people that she's reached out to on their birthday, then she's going to follow back up with them and say, hey, I loved connecting with you. And now that we've talked, I see everything that you're doing coming up in my feed. I love seeing that you're busy with your family or with this or with that. It looks like what I do would fit so seamlessly into your lifestyle, and you kind of have to tweak this wording. But she said it feels more genuine to her. And I just loved that idea that it was like a way to continually follow up with people and you weren't hitting them up right on their, like on your birthday. You're not asking them to take a look at Isagenix. So it's just kind of a nice way to follow up with them and be genuinely interested. And then the next thing on that list is social media posts. So we have a goal of posting once a day. And for some people who aren't posting, that seems overwhelming. We are not going to mention Isagenix, especially if you are new to this process. And if you're doing back to the basics, you are new. You want to create intrigue and interest here, guys. You want people to reach out to you and ask you, what are you doing? What is this amazing lifestyle? And if you're just throwing out Isagenix all over the place, they don't have to ask you any questions. They go Google it. They see something that's not that positive, and then they never ask anything about it. So avoid that. And it doesn't have to be all about your nutrition. Post what is genuine to you. What makes you you? Are you all about working out? Are you all about your family? Are you about your dogs? Like, what is it that makes you you? You have to start building this brand. So that's going to be part of your homework this week, is to start to do that posting once a day. I do have a suggestion for you guys for people to follow that are going to give you a good idea of a lot of our successful Isagenix entrepreneurs and how you will see they never actually come out and say Isagenix, Isagenix, Isagenix. So I'm going to give you that list in just a minute, and you can snapshot that list of people to follow. Before I do that, do you guys, anybody on, have any questions? You want to stop kind of after I've chunked a few of these? Do you have anything you want to bring up? You can always unmute or throw it in the chat if you do. So the next slide, oh, that didn't work. Let me go back here. Okay, so this is a good example of some people that you can follow. So you're not asking these people to be friends. They're not going to accept those friends requests, but this just kind of gives you a nice, it's a different sampling of men and women and different people who are successful in the business. So take a screenshot there, follow, you could say follow first. That way they're going to come up at the top of your feed, but you can get a good flavor for what these people do on a daily basis and how frequently they're posting, what their lives look like, and how they're not inundating people with Isagenix. So as we continue on with our list, again, this is such an easy way to stay organized, guys. Once you get familiar with this, it will not seem overwhelming. It will become so helpful when you're first starting out. So you want to make appointments to share the Isagenix opportunity. Ask people once they've gotten started, or even if you're in the process of enrolling them, ask them, like everybody does this differently, but are you interested in an additional stream of income? Would you be open to taking a look at what we do? If I could show you how to pay for your products, would that interest you? There's a lot of ways that you can approach this, but we are encouraging you to set this up as either a Zoom call, phone calls. Belly to belly meetings are awesome. If you're in the same town, get in a room with that person. That's how I started. And it just feels so authentic to be able to sit down with people and to draw those circles and to show them what you really do. So the person who's got the marker and who is drawing those circles is the person who's going to make the money. You guys have to share the opportunity with people. If you want to build this business, you've got to show people what is possible. So get them in a room with you, or get them on a Zoom call where you can see their face, where you can show them the excitement, like that you truly get what this means and where you're going, and that they're going to want to follow you. And I can't see the chat while I'm doing this. Okay. Okay, it doesn't look like I have questions, but I love your participation. Thank you. So yes, belly to belly, get them in front of you where they can see your fire, you know, like who's not going to want to join you if they can sit in a room with you and see what this can truly be. So part of doing that, is getting people obviously to enroll, and follow-ups is a part of that. So when you are following up, again, treat this like a business. So you guys want to track your follow-ups. Like if you say you're going to follow up with somebody and you've told them, because that's part of Eric Worre, that's part of being a professional. Okay, if you tell them you're going to follow up with them tomorrow, then follow up with them tomorrow. That's what a business person does. Okay, treat it like a business. So keep a calendar or an organized list, and even if you didn't necessarily give them a time, like if I've reached out to somebody and they've told me that they're going to watch the video and I haven't heard back from them, then I'll put it on my calendar like maybe 2 days out to say, reach back out to them, you know, what did you think? When can we talk about this? They're always on my radar that I can follow up until we can speak. So keep in mind, you're going to get ghosted, okay? But don't take this personal. You are a decision collector. Do not take this personal. You're just taking the information in. Either they want to join you or they don't. You are a decision collector. And the follow-up doesn't have to be Isagenix related. If they've ghosted you guys, then you don't have to keep messaging them as like, hey, do you want to take a look at Isagenix? And then the next time we're doing a promotion for Isagenix, your follow-ups can't all be Isagenix, guys, or they are going to ghost you. So be aware of this, that, you know, it's okay to reach back out and ask how their family's doing, or ask them something that's genuinely interested in their lives, because it's going to make you more relatable. They're going to trust you a lot more. And then we've also got, as another task, enrolling new team members in the IsaBody Challenge. So this might not seem as important to some people, but this is really important because you're asking them for a commitment. Okay, when somebody's got a 4-month commitment, they want to stay on board with you. And ultimately, you're not in this for just enrolling somebody once. You want them to stay with you, and you want a higher retention rate in your business. That's what signing somebody up for the IsaBody Challenge does. They are so much more likely. They're 90% more likely. We heard that at one of the events, to stay with you. Okay, do you want people to stay with you? Do you want people to order every month? Do you continually want those cycles to grow? Absolutely. Then get people in the IsaBody Challenge. Let them know that there's $200 on the table and they can do this 3 times a year. Why would they not want that free money? Get them in the challenge, bug them until they get in the challenge. Okay, customer appreciation, team member recognition. So when you have somebody that just enrolls, you guys have seen this on the pages that we're in, whether it's in our team pages or in the Health in Action page. Everybody's got a different place that they do this. So welcome them. You know, when they first enroll, you're excited for them, and let people welcome them and see that you're excited. If it's their first cleanse day, celebrate that. If they text you and say that they've released 10 pounds, or that they're feeling more energy, or that maybe they've shared with their mom and they've blessed somebody else, celebrate every little thing, you guys. People they're not used to getting celebrated, and they're going to appreciate this. Maybe they've rank advanced. Celebrate that. Welcome calls. We want to, oh my gosh, there's a reason I wrote this 3 times. 3-way calls. 3-way calls. This is so important, and we want to emphasize this. Even the people, even our beloved Casey, who's the millionaire, guys, they're all using 3-way calls. If the millionaire in the room tells you to do it, then this is what you need to do. So there's so many reasons that we incorporate this, because especially when you're new, you want people, you know, to hear somebody, a voice of more experience, but you also want them to know that there's more of a team community out there. Like, hey, let's get on the phone with my friend who knows more about this. Not only that, but it shows them how easy it is to do this. And we love that. It's like, see, you don't even have to know anything to get started. Just share with people, tell them you love this, and then get somebody on the phone that knows what they're talking about. Show them how easy it is to build this business. And then there's hours of business and or product training. And I want to emphasize, you're not going to know everything from the start. You're just not. You need training. And so there's two good places to get that. There's isagenixbusiness.com. And for anything health related, when people are asking you specifically about the products and you're unsure, I search on isagenixhealth.net every day. When people ask me questions, I'm going there and I'm putting in whatever they're asking me. Like somebody asked me about bariatric surgery and whether this was safe on it. And the other day I was like, well, let me go there. And I found it on Isagenix Health, found an article. And the more you can rely on that and send resources to people, again, they're getting the accurate information, but they're also seeing how easy it is to build this business because we all have this at our fingertips. So just, be proud of where you're at, but also own up to the fact that you do need to continue to learn and grow as you go. So those are two awesome places to do that and put that time in on a daily basis. And then I love this one. This is one that seems so easy, but I haven't done it enough. So I did this today. I love this one. Thank you messages to customers for ordering, because who doesn't want to be thanked? It's like, hey, thank you so much for my support or for your support. Thanks for continuing to love this lifestyle. And, I'm so happy that you're on board with this and you're still supporting me. I actually went through and did that today with some people that have been enrolled on my team that I've never worked with or talked to before. And that was just an awesome way to start and be like, hey, we don't know each other, but I'm on your team. I wanted to say thank you for placing your order. And I want you to know I'm here to support you as well if you ever have questions, and it's just kind of a nice way. Because again, who doesn't want to get thanked? And now they know I'm here and that I can support them. So that's just another thing to keep in the forefront of your mind as you're building your business. Okay, and then I know for time's sake, as far as team rank advancements, which is another item that you're keeping track of, there is a 2-step system to manager. And I'm not going to go in depth with this, but I am going to pull it up just so you know what I'm referring to. Those of you that are on Team Intention, we have these things on our team page. But these are just nice things that you can send to people. So if you have people that are interested in the business and you're trying to build it as well, obviously, then these are easy things that give them scripts, what they can post on social media. This is such an easy way, a step-by-step, that they're going to enroll their first 10 people. And then when you want them to become a manager, which we all know means that they have 2 people under them that have shared with 2, then this is just creating that, generating the interest in becoming a manager and how you're going to get your people that you've enrolled to share with a couple people. This gives them concrete, clear steps to follow. So they can't make it any simpler, guys. These are tools that you need to use and take advantage of. I'm just going to take a look at the chat. Okay. So the few last things that we have are your focus and goal for the week. So keep track of that. Oh, and now that went away. Okay, so basically I was talking about the focus or goal for the week. So whether that's cycles or, your rank, keep track of it. And some people, we get really caught up on the idea that like we need to be cycling so many times because we see so many other successful people on our team. 1 cycle a week, guys, at $54. If you did that, if you cycled 1 time every week all year, you'd have like between $3,000 and $4,000. That's amazing. Okay. Like don't overthink what this can be for you. It's like, if you set that goal of cycling once every week, that's still huge. $3,000 to $4,000 of a raise every year. That's amazing for a lot of us. I would love that. So keep in mind that you're going to keep track of your goals. Gratitude is huge. That's going to kind of lead me into, in the next few minutes, I'm leading over to Amanda Bresnow. Gratitude is so important. She's going to be leading us through our 4 agreements and where we should kind of be. And she's so good at developing us as leaders and letting us know where our mindset should be. So that's something that's important. So don't overlook gratitude. Sometimes this looks like something that we can forget about on this sheet, but it's super important to remember what we have to be thankful for. Because if we don't recognize that, why is the universe going to give us any more? We've got to be thankful for what we already have. So with that being said, I want to talk about what I want you guys to shoot for next week. So get your working list in order, whether that's going to be, we've talked about different ways that you can get that in order for yourself and downloading your Facebook list, but you have to have that working list. That's what professionals do. I want you to start posting daily, and it doesn't have to be about Isagenix. I don't want it to be about Isagenix. Don't mention that. but it can certainly be about healthy lifestyle or your family or your dog, whatever feels safe to you if you're not a poster, but start posting so that people can start seeing you. And then this weekly action scoreboard, again, this can be found on your isagenixbusiness.com. I'm going to encourage you to try to use this for an hour a day. Okay. So like I said, it's 4 categories of 15 minutes. Okay. So even if it's like you're a busy mama at home or you're really busy at work and you've got a lot going on, like, can you find 15 minutes in your day, 4 different times a day to build this business? Because it will pay out in dividends, guys. It is so worth it. So I encourage you to try to use this. Get good at following through with the different categories. So then an hour a day, this is going to build. Your business will absolutely build if you use an hour a day here. So then I will leave you with this. Amanda Bice is going to lead us on Thursday at 8 p.m. for another power hour of work. So that's an awesome day to get that power hour in. We're all going to be on there with you, working from 8 to 9. And we're there in case questions come up or if you need help with a way to follow up with somebody or whatever it may be. We're all there to help you. We are all one team. So I hope to see everybody there on Thursday. Carve that time out. Same Zoom code, Thursday from 8 to 9. We're going to be there with you, and we're going to be rocking it out, power hour using your list. And then we're going to check in with you next week with how you did with getting more used to this, because once you get more acquainted with it and it becomes more fluent in your world, it's going to make things a lot more efficient. Okay. So with all that being said, I am so glad that you guys all joined me. If you're watching the recording, absolutely reach out to us. Let us know what questions you have. Work on your homework. We'll see you Thursday, and then we'll also see you here back next week for week 3 of Back to Basics. So thanks for joining me, and we're going to head over now to Amanda Bresnow's. She's got her code in there, so I'm going to let her take over, and we'll see you guys there. Have a good one.
Good job, babe.
Thanks.
Racked it, Tori.
Thanks.
Count it! Woo, woo! Yeah!
Thanks. Yeah, I was good.
All right.
I hope I recorded it.